Hey there, amazing friends. I warmly invite you to join me on this exciting journey by subscribing to my channel, liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. Every like, comment, and share brings us closer together and fuels my passion to create more great content. Your support truly makes all the difference. Thank you for being the heart of this community. When the president played the strings, bizarre theories that top politicians secretly control pop music trends. It began as a rumor whispered among fringe conspiracy circles, an offhand remark, a cryptic blog post hinting that the world's most powerful politicians not only govern nations and shape economic policy, but also hold the secret reins of pop music trends. While it might sound absurd at first, why would a president care about a new boy band or an emerging viral dance challenge? This theory has evolved into a full-blown narrative among certain watchers who insist that entertainment, especially pop music, is far from spontaneous. They argue that top-level officials or global leaders coordinate behind closed doors to manufacture hits, push certain artists to stardom, and even plant coded messages within chart-topping songs. According to these watchers, the reason is simple yet staggering. Controlling pop music means influencing collective emotion and mass psychology on a scale that surpasses any official speech or campaign. Within the swirl of these bizarre theories, we find references to clandestine councils, behind-the-scenes deals with major record labels, and the hush-hush role of intelligence agencies that see pop culture as an unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions scenario, a potent soft power tool overshadowed by illusions overshadow illusions. If it's true, the Watchers claim, then the chart-topping single You're Humming might be the result of a joint operation among heads of state, intelligence chiefs, and corporate moguls determined to shape youth culture, political sentiment, and even global stability. The Watchers who champion this idea sometimes point to historical anecdotes of governments seeking to steer cultural tastes. They recall how certain authoritarian regimes have, in the past, exerted tight control over radio playlists or censored music that criticized official ideology. That's hardly news. But these watchers push further, claiming that what once was overt censorship has, in modern times, become a more subtle, global phenomenon, a top-down approach shaping not only what is disallowed, but also what is aggressively promoted. According to them, it's not just about banning rebellious songs. It's about systematically forging entire music trends, lyrics, and dance crazes that serve deeper agendas. They point to ephemeral illusions overshadow illusions in how certain genres suddenly explode in popularity, only to be replaced by something else just as quickly. They see the manipulative hand of politics at work, overshadow illusions, forging unstoppable illusions of genuine pop movements that might actually be orchestrated from secret war rooms in the bowels of government complexes. Of course, mainstream opinion dismisses these claims as comedic or outright delusional. Conventional wisdom says pop music is shaped by shifting consumer tastes, the hustle of record labels, and the unpredictable sparks of viral success. The watchers retort that mass taste can be guided by well-timed marketing pushes. The watchers see illusions overshadow illusions in how the public is fed certain radio hits in unstoppable rotation until they become earworms. However, to extend that logic to claim that top politicians, presidents, prime ministers, or high-ranking ministers are actively involved is a leap that requires stronger evidence. So far, the watchers rely on anecdotal pieces, coded references in leaked documents, or statements from alleged insiders who remain anonymous. Over the years, these watchers have compiled reams of alleged data, suspicious changes in lyrics that align with certain political campaigns, abrupt style shifts in major pop stars around election cycles, or coincidental cameo appearances of top officials in music videos. They interpret each instance as a piece of a puzzle, overshadow illusions, forging a mosaic that they say spells out political orchestration. One anecdote beloved by the watchers revolves around a former president rumored to have a secret pop culture steering committee working within the highest echelons of an intelligence agency. According to this rumor, weekly meetings were held to analyze the top 40 charts, identify emerging subcultures, and conceive ways to steer them toward pro-government sentiments or away from rebellious themes that might destabilize the status quo. The Watchers claim a group of cultural strategists, marketing wizards, and data scientists used advanced AI to predict which songs would resonate with teenage demographics, ensuring that certain artists receive prime placements on streaming platforms or discrete funding for promotional tours. The Watchers see illusions overshadow illusions in how these artists sometimes voiced mild political stances that align with the government's narrative. The Watchers further note that the alleged cameo of that president dancing on stage at a major festival, though spun by official press as spontaneous, might actually have been a carefully arranged cameo sealing the star's loyalty. Of course, official denials abound, with the ex-president's staff calling it ridiculous. But Watchers remain convinced. Another theory claims that certain signature White House events, from holiday parties to private state dinners, doubled as clandestine music auditions. Artists invited to perform supposedly had their next few singles shaped by subtle suggestions from top aides who understood the demographic they wanted to influence. Some watchers interpret that as unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions. The hush behind closed doors overshadow illusions. They point to the diaries of a now retired White House staffer referencing late night jam sessions in which high level officials jammed with visiting pop stars, exchanging chord progressions that might appear in forthcoming hits. The watchers see illusions overshadow illusions again. The synergy between official policy goals and cultural infiltration. The Watchers further claim that this synergy extends to awarding certain artists diplomatic passes or philanthropic grants that tie them more closely to official agendas. Meanwhile, the mainstream calls these coincidences or philanthropic gestures. Let us not forget the rumored involvement of major intelligence services. One improbable yet persistent story posits that intelligence agencies, aware of the emotional potency of pop music, see it as an unstoppable illusions, overshadow illusions scenario. Overshadow illusions. They might feed certain producers or lyricists with coded references that direct fans unconsciously to accept or reject certain ideologies. The Watchers highlight how a surprising number of chart toppers revolve around themes of unity, loyalty, or hero worship, at times coinciding with major geopolitical campaigns. The Watchers also reference the infiltration of music festival lineups. They see illusions overshadow illusions in how top festival bills sometimes shift drastically to highlight certain artists who, behind the scenes, have lobbied or allied with certain political interests. For watchers, the question is not if, but how deeply the infiltration runs. Of course, star collaborations with politicians are well known in the public sphere, celebrities endorsing candidates, presidents inviting artists to White House galas. But the watchers maintain that beneath these publicly known alliances lurks a far more orchestrated partnership. One Watchers document outlines a complex financial trail, major record labels receiving suspiciously timed government grants under the guise of cultural exchange programs just before certain artists under those labels soar to global stardom. The Watchers see illusions overshadow illusions in how the marketing budgets inflated and top streaming playlists updated overnight with these same artists. They interpret this as the political machine fueling certain pop narratives. The Watchers believe the end goal is controlling youth sentiment, forging illusions overshadow illusions that shape everything from consumer behavior to voting patterns. By forging an unstoppable illusions overshadow illusion synergy, the Watchers say these political kingmakers cultivate the next generation's worldview via infectious melodies and viral dance challenges. Some watchers delve deeper into the conspiratorial realm. alleging that pop music acts as a Trojan horse for subliminal messaging. They propose that certain chord progressions, repeated lyrical phrases, or specific frequencies might condition listeners to be more docile or more approving of official policies. They compare it to oldest mind control conspiracies, but updated for the digital streaming era. Critics label these watchers as hysterical, pointing out that no rigorous scientific study has validated subliminal music manipulation on the scale they propose. Yet the watchers retort that the absence of evidence is part of the cover-up. They see illusions overshadow illusions in how swiftly any intellectual attempt to investigate is overshadowed by official disclaimers of tinfoil hat theories. Meanwhile, the watchers compile anecdotal testimonies from insiders in the music industry who claim to have seen certain government advisors in label boardrooms or unusual rewriting sessions for top songs at the last minute. These watchers interpret them as further proof of unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions, a matrix of politics behind pop. One example the watchers love to cite is the phenomenon of accidental political references in pop songs. They note how a seemingly innocent club track might contain lines about unity or rebelling against the old, just as a major legislative push occurs, or how an empowerment anthem times perfectly with an election cycle overshadow illusions to rally a demographic. The watchers see illusions overshadow illusions in how the star might claim it's purely personal expression. But behind the scenes, they suspect subtle prodding from top-level officials or their proxies. They cite the odd alignment between certain dance trends and official tourism campaigns as though orchestrated to highlight national pride or distract from controversies. The watchers also point to ephemeral illusions overshadow illusions in how swiftly fans adopt the next big fad, as though the watchers behind pop are always one step ahead with the next message. Meanwhile, mainstream audiences suspect nothing but the ephemeral nature of pop culture. Of course, many watchers note that these conspiracies might oversimplify the synergy that arises naturally among big business, government, cultural arms, and the entertainment industry. It's no secret that big artists lobby for political support, or that politicians harness star endorsements. But whether the connection is so direct that the president literally plays the strings behind pop hits is a giant leap. Even watchers must concede that no definitive, smoking gun document has surfaced, no direct memo from a head of state instructing a label executive to produce a certain chorus. Instead, they rely on patterns, coded references, or statements from unnamed insiders. The watchers see overshadow illusions, unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions that define conspiracies. The watchers see the intangible overshadow illusions. Meanwhile, the watchers continue to chase each new album release, analyzing lyrics for hidden references to policy or seeing cameo roles in music videos as a sign of deeper infiltration. At the extremes, some watchers propose that pop music might be an essential part of global governance, forging illusions overshadow illusions in which the entire population is lulled or directed by certain rhythms. They talk about historically how war drums or national anthems unify or manipulate masses. In the modern era, a catchy melody played on streaming platforms might unite or distract a generation. The watchers interpret unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions. The synergy of government agencies, intelligence forces, and label moguls forging ephemeral illusions overshadow illusions that shape hearts and minds. For them, when the president played the strings is not a metaphor but a literal depiction of top politicians and their intelligence arms orchestrating the pop star pantheon. Observers in the mainstream likely remain skeptical, but can't entirely dismiss the watcher's argument that large-scale manipulation is feasible if enough money and influence are involved. Meanwhile, how do pop stars fit into these watchers' theories? The Watchers say some are innocent puppets, while others are complicit or aware. They mention rumored gatherings where certain pop icons rub shoulders with political heavyweights at private retreats, forging illusions overshadow illusions in deals that might shape entire album cycles. They talk about how some artists' sudden philanthropic pivots or policy endorsements align suspiciously with official policy. A viral dance challenge might coincide with a legislative push. Overshadow illusions. Possibly the Watchers see illusions overshadow illusions in every cultural moment, missing that the pop star might simply be seeking good PR. Still, the Watchers remain unwavering, pointing to the unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions again. At the edges of these conspiracies dwell the truly outlandish Watchers, who believe that top politicians do more than just manipulate the music scene. They literally perform under pseudonyms or shape-shift into pop stars to gauge public reaction. The Watchers interpret that comedic parallel as overshadow illusions. This notion leans into shapeshifter conspiracies, claiming that certain resemblances between older politicians and younger pop stars is no coincidence but the result of advanced biotech or illusions overshadow illusions. The Watchers who propagate such extremes rarely find acceptance, even among their peers. Yet the Watchers see unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions. No matter how absurd, the rumor persists. In the end, when the president played the strings, bizarre theories that top politicians secretly control pop music trends stands as a testament to how unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions can flourish in a world where political power merges with the ephemeral realm of entertainment. The Watchers might see overshadow illusions in every chart performance, music awards show, or official cameo. They argue that modern pop culture is too massive and too influential to remain free from top-level infiltration. The Watchers find meaning in the ephemeral overshadow illusions, swirling around each new star who emerges overnight. Meanwhile, mainstream Watchers roll their eyes or consider it comedic. But the Watchers are convinced that behind the scenes, an unstoppable synergy might exist. Overshadow illusions, forging overshadow illusions that shape entire generations. Finally, perhaps the greatest question is not whether presidents or prime ministers truly orchestrate pop music from clandestine offices, but rather how we as a global audience remain vulnerable to large-scale manipulation. Even if the Watchers' theories are only partially true, they highlight how easily the lines blur among politics, marketing, and cultural expression. The Watchers see overshadow illusions, unstoppable overshadow illusions, and they stand ready to interpret each new chart phenomenon as potential evidence of the hidden hand. So the Watchers keep analyzing, keep speculating. Meanwhile, pop fans dance to the next beat, sing along to the next catchy hook, seldom suspecting that behind the unstoppable overshadow illusions, might be the invisible strings of top politicians. Or maybe not. Maybe overshadow illusions after all, and we all just enjoy the ephemeral nature of pop. The Watchers remain uncertain, but their theories remain unstoppable. Overshadow illusions once more.